this technology for China is very positive because it would make it easier for other countries to use the RMB, for example.
Yeah.
And I actually think, and this is the same situation for the US and for Europe, I think blockchain technology, once you have an internet of value, the big four get stronger. The big four currencies, right? The USD, the Euro, the Yen, and RMB, because now they're easier to get throughout the world. And I think that's very positive for China. It's very positive for the US, very positive for Europe. And I think that's the case you have to go in making. But you can't come in there and try to say, hey, you know, we're here to disrupt you or something like that. Got to get rid of that stupid disruption word.
There's really two areas with the XRP ledger you got to keep your eye on. Stay locked in there because this is going to drive massive adoption very quickly, and I believe also drive value of the XRP token. We're going to go over that. But make no mistake, this is a transformative period for XRP. And you're going to hear a lot of people say, well, Ripple failed and they're pivoting away from XRP. And it couldn't be farther from the truth. This is the highest and best use of the XRP ledger. This is the original vision. We got a little bit off track there for a while. You heard from that opening clip from Chris Larson. What did he say? You know, cryptocurrency technology, it's not going to displace, it's not going to get rid of fiat currencies. It's going to do exactly the opposite for the big ones. Your US dollar, your euro, yuan, and yen. It's going to expand their reach. We're seeing that happen. It's going to extend their liquidity and make these currencies even more global. And that's exactly what is going down. When you look at the XRP ledger, originally it was Ripple Pay. It was used to tokenize the value of painting someone's house and trading that for the value of fixing someone's car or for a bunch of tomatoes or, you know, some steak or something like that. It was so hippies could live, tokenize real world value, like the essence you need for life, and be able to trade that in society. Then David took that and added on the XRP token, pathfinding algorithms, a decentralized exchange, all this kind of advanced stuff. But still, at its core, it's about tokenizing real world value of one kind or the other. And that's where you're going to see them take this technology as they make the XRP ledger this really trading hub for the world. It's absolutely massive. Let's take a look at this here. Bitstamp and Robinhood. I've droned on about this, but it is so big I can't stress it enough. They are wiring a full-scale crypto derivatives exchange straight on the XRP ledger. And from my understanding, they want to push the sucker out and do so quickly. Now, when I first heard that, I'm like, okay, you know, we all know how big the derivatives trade is globally. It's just, you know, the biggest thing there is. But this is crypto derivatives. How big is it? Well, global crypto derivatives today, and it's growing quickly, is 4.8 trillion a month. That's 70% of all the digital asset volume in the world. I didn't realize it was that big. Snagging just 1% of that flow, which if this is a good system, if it's an efficient system, probably will get a heck of a lot more than that. That's 1.2 billion in trades every day funneling through the XRP ledger. That's a huge, you know, surge in trading volume compared to what we have today. The traditional derivatives arena may be 700 trillion, but this smaller crypto slice, that instantly, literally overnight, could 10 to 20x XRP ledger activity right away and meant a new revenue engine for both platforms. And so why, to me, this is even more exciting than a lot more activity and value on the XRP ledger is you have this Bitstamp Robinhood, you know, coming to the XRP ledger and building their platform on top of it. And the more big players you get building on this system, the less important Ripple is. Understand this. Ripple has no special power over the XRP ledger, but look what happened when they didn't want hooks. David Schwartz has talked about this. He said, you know what? It's not we had any power to stop hooks. We just ain't going to pay for it because we don't want it. And there's no one else with any money. As soon as you get a Robinhood, maybe a Bank of America, some other banks, some nations, now it's a different story, isn't it? It becomes that much more decentralized because it's not just one person with a checkbook that can pay for things. You got a lot of heavy hitters here. And it's just going to make this system that much more robust. And a lot of the critique about the XRP ledger just goes away because you can't argue now that Ripple has so much control because they're going to have to negotiate and work with Robinhood and again, banks and all these other stakeholders that are using the XRP ledger, and it could really mature in a big way very quickly. And now that is in a totally different environment than where we find ourselves today. Now, when we look at this, a lot of people worried about, XRP is going to lose payments to stablecoins, and it's true. We're going to see more payment volume running through stablecoins, some of those on the XRP ledger, some on other blockchains. But what we lose in payments, we gain in liquidity gravity. So we're going to go over this, but understand this just conceptually. Let's say for a lot of these payments, stablecoins are better. And Ripple said, you know what? No, we're going to force you to use XRP. That's not going to work because guess what? Other players are going to use stablecoins. Some of them might mint on the XRP ledger. A lot of them would use the Ethereum blockchain. Now, I know a lot of people out there think, well, it's too slow and expensive. Fine, I'll give you that. But you have a lot of fast and cheap blockchains out there today that are growing very quickly. And so if stablecoins are better for some of these payments, if Ripple doesn't use stablecoins, someone else will beat them. You can't force people to use a lesser way to do payments because your competition is just going to run you over. So we have to go this way anyway. But stablecoins are not going to replace XRP. They're going to supercharge it. Every dollar that's brought on chain through RLUSD or other stablecoins, I think there's going to be more, creates more demand for movement, swaps, and bridging. That's what XRP does, doesn't it? And not only that, it's almost a Trojan horse because now you have all of this traditional finance piping right into the blockchain, right into the XRP ledger. And so as on-chain becomes more liquid, XRP becomes more usable. Do we believe that stablecoin does everything that a regular cryptocurrency does? Because if you do, then what are we doing here? Let's get rid of our Bitcoin, our Ethereum, our XRP, everything. There's no point. We'll just have stablecoins. We know inherently stablecoins don't solve everything. They just do some things more efficient. And again, this is how we lure them to integrate with our system. And yes, they're going to be able to use their stablecoins that they can freeze and they can claw back and all of that. But it makes our XRP, which is non-debasable, which is you can't claw back, you can't freeze. It makes it that much more usable and valuable, totally on-chain, totally in a decentralized manner. And that's exciting. You can instantly get money onto the blockchain, cash out, get it off. And what you can do with that changes the world. The more liquidity pipelines we have in the XRP ledger, the more valuable XRP becomes as a native bridge asset and as a global, asset, as a global currency. Don't fear stablecoins. They are the fuel to XRP's engine. I absolutely believe that here. Massive news. Charles Schwab, CEO, confirms it will launch Bitcoin and crypto spot trading. They have 37 million customers they're going to be bringing to the crypto arena. I thought this was really interesting. I was trying to think, why spot trading? Why not just ETFs? But, I don't know if you're going to be able to pull money off of these exchanges. Like, are you going to be able to buy XRP and pull it off of Charles Schwab? If not, what's the point? Why not just have an XRP ETF? I don't know. But either way, they're going all in on crypto. And you're going to see everyone doing this. Every brokerage, every bank. They're going to have all of these different investment products. They don't want to miss out. And it's just going to bring a lot of new investors to this space, which will drive value. That's a big one there. French finance minister warning that firing Jerome Powell would jeopardize the dollar's credibility and risk destabilizing the U.S. economy. Here's the thing. If you even wanted to go down this road to fire Jerome Powell, I think you would be tied up in courts longer than his term has left anyway. Like, what's the point? I don't think you can get him out of there that quickly. And, I think what you may see happen here, and I've been saying this, is he may step down because clearly, he's got this argument going back and forth with the president. It's not a great relationship. It may be time for someone new, but he may decide that. He may decide that someone else will be more effective in that job and step down. And if that happens, it could be very bullish for markets. I don't think markets will have a problem with that if Jerome Powell makes that call, that someone else will do the job more effectively. We see here breaking, and this is a big one. SEC approves VanEck's on-chain economy ETF. Its ticker is NODE. And the SEC just greenlit a new ETF that gives investors exposure to real business powering crypto future. We're going to have so many cool investment products here. The ticker symbol of this thing will be NODE. It'll hold 30 to 60 stocks tied to miners, exchanges, gaming, energy infrastructure, TradFi rails, asset managers. But also on top of that, this is exciting. It can allocate up to 25% of the fund to crypto ETFs. So it'll have exposure to actual cryptocurrencies, to major companies within the crypto sector. Something like this is going to be very popular, and you can see a lot of money flooding into all these different products, and they're all going to start scooping up supply. They're going to be scooping up XRP with an XRP ETF, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the ones that are going to get across the finish line here, and it's going to really drive values. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy Node. I have no idea what it holds, but stuff like this excites me because this is the future, and people are going to want this. They're going to know, you know what? Crypto, it's big. There's a lot of growth there. I don't know exactly what, so just give me a part of the whole ecosystem, and you'll see a lot of people investing in these types of products. Lastly, don't think we've won anything yet. We're not even close. We need to strike while the iron is hot, and we absolutely necessary that we get regulations here. Congress has to act. They have to pass laws and protections, because we see Oregon Attorney General has apparently informed Coinbase he plans to pick up exactly where the SEC left off under Gary Gensler. And so why this is scary? We're not scared of Oregon. But what happens in 4 years? You don't know who the president will be. You don't know what the SEC makeup will be. And if we don't get laws passed, you could be right in the same nonsense you were. We got to move, and we got to move now. Now, to my understanding, this year we should see 2 bills passed. And they better do it, because, again, you just don't know what the future holds, and things could turn sour very quickly if you make this some partisan issue where one side's just going to attack the industry. We can't have that. We got to move forward. Innovation is good. You have to have sensible laws. But this just shows this battle ain't over. No one's given up. And if they had the ability, they'll go right back to the attack like they were before. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.